Good Monday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. The Okanagan County Connect project has been awarded over $11.9 million for broadband infrastructure. This week, Chelan will once again welcome the US Open of Paragliding as the competitive tournament takes off from Chelan Butte. More thunderstorm activity is expected tomorrow before we get really warm by the end of the week. Firefighters spent part of Friday encircling a small brush fire near Pothole State Park. The fire broke out close to 6 p.m. along a road outside Royal City, but was quickly controlled by Grant County Fire District 10, which estimated its ultimate size at about half an acre. The fire initially led to level 1 evacuation notices for nearby residents, but those warnings were withdrawn shortly after. The fire was on land owned by the U.S. Bureau of Land Management, which patrolled for hot spots after local fire units went back in service. A 15-acre wildfire between Ephrata and Soap Lake is being attributed to reckless burning. The Grant County Sheriff's Office says a 25-year-old woman was arrested Saturday afternoon for allegedly starting a fire that got out of control near the Wagon Wheel Mobile Home Park just off Highway 28 south of Lakeview. The fire broke out on the east side of the mobile home community and threatened residences there, but 3 local fire agencies cooperated to contain that blaze. Deputies said witnesses and evidence placed the female suspect at the spot where the fire was ignited. She remained held today in Grant County Jail. Representative Kim Schreier will make an appearance in Chelan tomorrow. Schreier will be touring Lake Chelan Hospital on her visit and will be joined by Representative Mike Steele, who previously served as president of the Lake Chelan Wellness Foundation. The hospital opened in October of 2022. It totals over 52,000 square feet and includes 12 patient rooms, 2 operating rooms, and expansive parking. Lake Chelan Hospital CEO Aaron Edwards and CFO Brant Truman will also join Schreier on her tour of that hospital. The Okanagan County Connect project has been awarded over $11.9 million for broadband infrastructure. Senator Maria Cantwell and the U.S. Department of Treasury announced the approval of $195.7 million for high-speed internet projects in Washington state. Cantwell said the pandemic showed how critical broadband was to the economy by giving people options to work from home and providing children with educational access. The investment, which comes from the American Rescue Plan's Capital Projects Fund, will connect an estimated 33,000 Washington homes and businesses to affordable high-speed internet. The Okanagan Connect project is a partnership of Okanagan County Electric Co-op. When we come back, the U.S. Air Force is celebrating 100 years of aerial refueling tomorrow with flyovers across 50 states, including one over Moses Lake. If you're feeling patriotic and swapping out your old beaten U.S. flag in time for July 4th, Chelan County wants to help you retire America's symbol with honor. And this week, Chelan will once again welcome the US Open of Paragliding as the competitive tournament takes off from Chelan Butte. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Did you know people 65 or older make up 12% of the U.S. population but consume 34% of all prescription drugs? Protect yourself and your aged loved ones from prescription errors. Always read labels carefully to avoid mistakes. Ask your pharmacist if over-the-counter medicines conflict with your prescriptions, and never skip doses or take more than is prescribed. This message sponsored by Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington. Call 1-800-572-4459 for prescription assistance.
The U.S. Air Force is celebrating 100 years of aerial refueling tomorrow with flyovers across 50 states, including one over Moses Lake. Back on June 27, 1923, the first successful aerial refuel took place after gasoline was passed between two DH-4B aircrafts. The flyovers, dubbed Operation Centennial Contact, showcases the tankers demonstrating the Air Force's rapid global mobility. The Moses Lake flyover will be at approximately 8:33 a.m. Flight times may be 15 minutes ahead or behind schedule, so be on the lookout. If you're feeling patriotic and swapping out your old beaten U.S. flag in time for July 4th, Chelan County wants to help you retire America's symbol with honor. The county's administrative office at 400 Douglas Street hosts a deposit box for flags can be placed for formal retirement. The U.S. Flag Code asks that flags be disposed of in a dignified manner, preferably by burning. Flags left at the county office are turned over to the Wenatchee Veterans Hall for retirement ceremonies. You can also contact your local BSA Scout Troop, the VFW, or the American Legion. This week, Chelan will once again welcome the US Open of Paragliding as the competitive tournament takes off from Chelan Butte. About 130 paragliders from 20 counties held their practice day on Saturday, prepping for a sequence of time trials that began yesterday. Expect to see flyers sailing from the peak of the Butte throughout the week and landing at Chelan Falls Park along the Columbia River. The annual event stretches through July 1st. Coming up next in tonight's feature story, Wenatchee City Code Compliance Officer Eric Budget told the City Council Walker Street is now among the success stories in the fight to remedy problem homes. Slow-moving thunderstorms will continue tonight and again tomorrow afternoon. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. That and much more still to come tonight. Please stay with us.
Hi everybody, Dan Coos alongside Jesse Coble from Alpine Air. My heat pump there's like steam coming out of it. It's making weird noises. Is this something I need to be concerned about?
No, Dan, that's normal operation. Refrigeration technology steals heat from the outside, transfers it to the inside, and it creates frost on your heat pump. The defrost cycle melts that off, which creates steam and a little bit of noise.
That makes sense. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. Thanks, Jesse.
Thank you.
This is it. The RV sales event of the year is happening now at the Town Toyota Center during the Summer Getaway Sales Event. Choose from the best brands, Grand Design, Flagstaff, Thor, SMC trailers, and more. Over 600 RVs to choose from. Payments just $239 per month and $2,000 over JD Power for your trade-in. Plus, get a Yeti cooler and Traeger grill with your purchase. Don't let these summer deals get away. Sale extended. 5 more days ends June 25th. The hottest deals at the Summer Getaway Event. Now at the Town Toyota Center, just off Walla Walla Avenue. Hurry in today.
Back in April, we told you about a home on Walker Street in Wenatchee that was classified as a nuisance property by the city after squatters took over the house and let water and human waste pile up. The house caught fire the day it was condemned. In tonight's features story, last week, Code Compliance Officer Eric Budget told the City Council Walker Street is now among the success stories in the fight to remedy problem homes.
416 Walker Avenue was one of the properties that we've had cases on for 2 years. And the guy that owned the home, he was on hospice care, and he had a lot of homeless people that were coming in and living with him, and they were chopping vehicles there, and it was constant work for us to try to keep that property clean. And it's right across the street from a park, so it was important. And we worked with the police and we worked with our attorneys to clean up that property. And every time we got close, then there's a new owner. VA owns it, or it got repoed. The owner passed away, and then we got to start the whole thing over. And finally, on the left-hand side, that wet mark is where they're dumping their urine buckets out of the house. So I started looking, and there's no water, there's no power, there's no electricity. We're standing over there, just posted the house, and I see a plume of smoke, and the fire trucks running. Well, they started the house on fire after I posted it. So I was able to get up and go in and take some pictures. You can see the garbage and rubbish just in the driveway here. The picture on the right's the front yard. I called the police. They came over there and they did a search of the house to make sure no one was in it. And so after we got it posted and everything, I contacted a contractor that we work with all the time and said, this is an emergency. Can you come out and help me clean this up on a Friday morning? And they came out, but this is the backyard. This is inside the house in the right-hand picture. You can see that on the left picture where they started the fire there. They kind of burned into the house, and you can see in these pictures, this is kind of where the fire department busted up the walls and stuff to put out the fire. That's the lovely kitchen, and it was the house was full of feces, the yard was full of feces, and lots of garbage. And so I made them put on some Tyvek suits, some gloves, and some masks, and go in and clean this up. It took a day and a half to get it all cleaned up. I really appreciate everybody that helped us get this property cleaned up. People are using the park again. The whole street is just different with it all cleaned up. Here's some after pictures. We have 3 or 4 homes like this that we're working on right now that are constant cases for us. 731 Arando is one of those cases that I've already done an abatement case on them. And it was last November. And then, so you can see the junk cars and the vehicles. They've had motorhomes full of garbage there. Side yard, backyard. And I've been there 3 times we're on our 3rd contempt order at this property. They re-violate about every 30 days, and it's a lot of garbage. 816 South Chelan Avenue, we've had 11 code violations there in 2 years. I've abated it once. I've had 3 contempt order abatements, 64 law enforcement calls for service from 2020 to 2023. He decided to call in and complain that I was harassing him. And so we're still working with him. We're going to meet with him on his property at some point in time. But you can see these cases that this isn't harassment. This is garbage and rubbish like crazy. When I was there cleaning the property the first time, someone was living in that little tin shed there on the right-hand side. A guy and a gal were living in there. The basement's basically been condemned. There's no electricity. It's full of water, but they keep having people living there too.
Time now for a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. We sure had some nice weather, didn't we? With temperatures in those mid-80s. It's going up from there, and we'll talk more about that. Wait until you see the temperatures coming up this weekend. But once again, we did have those thunderstorms building up in the afternoon. Some heavy rainfall over the weekend up in the Twisp area. P to even a little bit bigger sized hail up that way on Saturday, and that's not out of the question as we get into our evening hours. We still are under a flash flood watch, there we go, for our area, and that will be through the evening tonight. And the area in green is where we're really keeping an eye out. That includes Omak, Twisp, also down into Stevens Pass, Plain, Chelan. You might see some of that. Some of that should be diminishing now that we're getting into our evening hours, but get ready for it to fire up once again tomorrow. We'll show you that in a second as well. Got pretty warm out there today. 87 our unofficial high temperature, 81 is where we should be for this time of year. How about our record high? 102 degrees just 2 years ago. That was set in 2021. 61 our low this morning, so very mild compared to 57 is where we should be for our low temperature. 43 is our record, and that was set in 1976. Sunrise this morning, 5:06, and the sunset tonight is 9:02. All right, let's take a look at Tuesday's temperatures. A lot like today, maybe a tick or two higher than today, but we're going to see those clouds move in once again tomorrow. 90s for the Columbia Basin, Moses Lake, Ephrata, and Quincy, and then upper 80s from Ellensburg to Wenatchee, also Eniat and Chelan into those upper 80s. 90 for Omak and 87 the high temperature tomorrow in Leavenworth. Tonight we can expect mostly clear skies. It will be very mild out there. Here's the tip of our ridge of high pressure and also a couple areas of high pressure, but there's a little area of low pressure right here by Salt Lake City, and that's what's bringing up the instability our way, and that'll bring us about a 30% chance of thunderstorms once again tomorrow. You can see they're scattered all over Washington state, especially to the north and right through the Cascades. So once again, keep your eye on the sky tomorrow. High temperatures in those upper 80s. Getting into Wednesday, sunny skies. We will be warm once again, above normal, with high temperatures right around 90. And we are getting even warmer than that as we head into the upcoming weekend. For Friday, or Thursday rather, sunny skies and hot. We'll jump into those lower 90s. Once again, high pressure dots our map all over the western U.S. And you can see the dark orange and even red colors now developing in Washington state. And that indicates very hot temperatures. Even darker for Friday. We're talking mid 90s with sunshine to end our work week. And as we get you into the upcoming, I guess we can call it holiday weekend, sunny skies and hot. Once again, we're going to stay in those mid 90s for Saturday. And I'll tell you what, folks, not much is going to change. High pressure is just intensifying out in the Pacific, and we're going to still stay hot with highs at the end of our forecast, still into those mid 90s. Let's take a look at your 7-day forecast. 64 tonight. Keep your eye on the sky. I think things will quiet down with darkness tonight, but then it's going to fire right back up tomorrow. Another chance of afternoon thunderstorms in 89, and then the heat is on. 90 degrees for Wednesday, and then look at that. Thursday through Sunday, we are talking highs with sunshine, mainly in the mid-90s. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom, I should say Dan Kuntz and more, as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, located on South Wenatchee Ave, has the largest selection of spas and swim spas in town. Stay cool this summer in an artesian swim spa and use it all year long. We enjoy helping families reconnect one spa at a time. Hot tubs are proven to improve sleep and decrease arthritis pain. Our passion is water, so please bring us a water sample, and we will help you diagnose your pool or spa water for free. Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, your pool and spa experts.
Pitch to the plate on an 0-2. Wenatchee Apple Sox baseball is back on the NCWLIFE channel. Join us Tuesday, June 27th as the Apple Sox host the Port Angeles Lefties. Coverage is brought to you by Apple Valley Honda, Confluence Health, JDSA Law, Mary Maids, Mini Blinds and more, Prestige Senior Living at Colonial Vista, Together for Youth, Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center, and Walkabout Grill. Your television home for Apple Sox baseball is the NCWLIFE channel.
Before the I have no idea what I'm doing. That's why we need you. We need people to run cameras so I can get back down on the broadcast and talk about what's going on. We pay $75 per event. If it's sports, if it's a parade, if it's Apple Blossom, if it's a Super Oval, $75. If that sounds like some extra good money for you, we'd love you to be part of our team. All you have to do is email me, sports@ncwlife.com. sports@ncwlife.com. In the meantime, I gotta go figure out this camera.
Happy Monday, sports fans. It was the Anthony Santander show yesterday. Unfortunately, he plays right field for the Baltimore Orioles. He stole a home run from Julio Rodriguez, and then 2 innings later, he hit a home run that helped Baltimore defeat the Mariners yesterday. The final was 3-2.
Center field.
Reigning Rookie of the Year. And Rodriguez takes a slider a long way out to right center field. Anthony Santander took it away. Julio had the robbery yesterday, and Sometimes the home run ball gets you, and sometimes you get the home run ball. What a play.
This time he gets a fastball over the plate, and he socks it deep out to left field. It bangs off the wall. Gino throttles down at second base with a 2-out stand-up double.
Who put that wall there?
They're 4 feet to the right, maybe less. That would have been a home run into the pen. Here's Cal Raleigh.
Cal belts this out to right field. Cal Raleigh, fair ball, home run. What a blast by Cal Raleigh in Baltimore.
And the Mariners have a 2-0 lead here in the top of inning number 2.
Shot to third base, and it's a fair ball just inside the bag at third. Mateo racing around first. He'll stroll into second, and it'll be up to Anthony Santander. Struck out his first at-bat today against George Kirby. Anthony hits one high in the air to right field. Back it goes onto the flag court. A 2-run shot for Anthony Santander. He's done it again.
Santander home runs in 5 of 6. That is outside.
It is.
It's a walk. Would you believe it?
He also walked a guy with 21 steals.
A one-out base runner bringing up Bemboom. And Bemboom fists it down the right field line. Will it stay fair? And it will. Caballero has it hit off of his body. It caroms towards the sidewall and right. Mateo center out third. Relay throw goes into second base. Mateo makes it all the way around from first. Unreal base running from Mateo. He scores all the way from first on a bloop single down the right field line, and the Orioles have got a 3-2 lead.
Last hope for the Mariners, Ty France.
And France is able to lob it in the left. What a swing by Ty France. And once again, the Mariners down to their final out, keep the game alive.
Here's Teoscar with 2 outs. Go ahead, run at the plate.
Felix with another 1-2. And he wins the game with a high fastball. There's a new King Felix. And he just shut the Mariners down in the ninth.
Kyle Bradish allowed just 2 hits in 7 innings at work. The Orioles win the 3-game series, even though the Mariners bombed them on Friday. George Kirby looked really good as well. He allowed just 2 earned runs and 6 hits in 6 1/3 innings. After the game, manager Scott Service said George Kirby was good, Bradish just a little bit better.
You know, outside of one mistake he made to Santander, didn't get that curveball low enough. Wanted to bounce that one and didn't get it, and he paid the price there. I thought he was kind of in total control of the game, but unfortunately their guy was as well. I thought we had some, good at-bats early, first time through the lineup against Bradish, and then he settled in after that, got his breaking ball going, and it was a struggle for us offensively. So, coming in the game, looking at the pitching matchup, you have a pretty good idea. It's going to be a low-scoring game. It's just one play or one big hit here or there can sway it, and that's what happened today. I think our guys continue to develop and learn and get better. And George has been working on changing his grip on his changeup. Comes out like a little splitter. He had some success with it today. That's positive. George has all kinds of weapons, but our other guys continue to add to their repertoire. Only going to help them in the future. And George, can't say enough. He's like, he's got 35, 40 starts in his career. He's off to a great start in his career, and he's just super competitive. I mean, he's disappointed, but you can't throw the ball a whole lot better other than the one mistake to Santander. We do have a lot of baseball left. I do think outside of today getting shut down, I do think we're trending in the right way offensively, and I don't think you can just throw it in the trash because you have a rough day. You have to stay with it, and homestand coming up, need to continue to swing the bats there like we did here a few days in the middle of this trip, because it's in there. We're capable of doing it. You just have to stay consistent.
A disappointing 2-4 on their 6-game road trip against the Yankees, and the Orioles are back in town tonight to take on the Nationals. First pitch 6:40 on Root Sports Northwest. All right, to the scoreboard we go. Another action Sunday in the AL West. Harrison Bader hit a go-ahead 2-run double in the 8th inning, and the Yankees overcame Garrett Cole's shortest start of the season, and they rallied to beat the Rangers. The final there was 5-3. Houston eked out a 6-5 win over the Dodgers in extra innings, so they gained ground on the Rangers. And one day, after blasting the Rockies 25-1, that's right, Saturday night, LA won 25-1. Colorado comes back and beats the Angels yesterday 4-3, and the Blue Jays poured 12 runs across the plate to hold the A's to just 3 hits, and of course they beat the A's 12-1. So the standings: Rangers continue to lead the American League West. They're 5.5 games ahead of the Astros. The Angels find themselves 6 games back. The Mariners slip to 9.5 games out of first place. Well, the Wenatchee Apple Sox cashed in big time. 11 errors by the Northwest Star Academy. That usually means victory, and that's exactly what happened on Saturday night in a non-league game. The final was 10-4. The Apple Sox were being no-hit until the 6th inning, but then they poured it on late, scoring in each of their final 4 innings. Trent Lolilos fired 2.2 scoreless innings, struck out 4 to earn the win, his second non-league appearance for the team.
It'll be another 0-2 offering to Chase Elliott. The pitch, swing and a miss for strike 3. Adams is fired up as he heads back to the dugout with his second strikeout of the game. And once again, he strands 2 men on the base paths. Wenatchee still leads 1-0. Little flare the opposite way by Strong, and it is over the second baseman Haw into right field. David comes in to score, and Mason Strong wastes no time on a pinch hit single the other way. Braden Yukon on a relief, trying to get it out. Instead, he'll give up a ball that is served down the right field line toward the corner. Kaplan will score. Right behind him, Strong. Into second base, Williams. The throw gets away. He's heading over toward third, and he will get there. The 0-2 offering coming from the righty from Northwestern. He fires at it as swung on a miss for strike 3.
So the Apple Sox returned to league play on Tuesday night. They were off yesterday. They're off today. Port Angeles comes to town for a league game, a 3-game series against the Lefties. We will have Tuesday night's game right here live on the NCWLIFE channel. To the standings we go in the West Coast Leagues North, and we're running out of time, folks. There's just 9 games remaining in the first half of the WCL schedule, and they are still chasing the Bellingham Bells. Bellingham has a 1-game lead over the Apple Sox. Victoria has lost 3 in a row now, so they fall to 2.5 games back. Kelowna 5 games back, and the Sox next opponent, Port Angeles, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they sit 9 games out of first. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. Happy Monday. Greetings, folks. On the next edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, it's back for the 2nd year. Kids Triathlon. It's all a fundraiser for the Mission Ridge ski team. Roger and Lindsay will be joining me, and we're talking about what, Roger and Lindsay?
Our 2nd annual Kids Triathlon here at Walla Walla Point Park. It's a swim, bike, and run, and we'd love to have your kids ages 6 to 14 come and join us.
Last year was a huge success. That's why they're doing it again on the next edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us, and have a great night.
Ha ha ha!